Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today will be a short flow and we'll end with some long held stretches. So hop on your mat. You might want 2 blocks for this practice. If you've been practicing a while, you don't need a lot of support, then you probably don't need any blocks. So hop on your mat and let's get started. Well, I've been trying to contemplate some stuff out of this mindfulness book by Joseph Goldstein. So I'm just going to read a little bit out of this book to start, and you can think about it and contemplate it as you are practicing today. And it says, many people have become enlightened by hearing just this one short teaching. Whatever has the nature to arise will also pass away. Because this statement is so glaringly obvious, we often ignore or overlook its deep implications. Although we may not always feel this flow of incessant change as suffering, we still come to realize that nothing can be counted on to bring lasting fulfillment, precisely because nothing lasts. This great truth of change inevitably leads us to times of association with what we don't want and separation from what we do. And in these situations, in turn, often condition resistance to the unpleasant things that come and clinging to the pleasant ones. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy pleasant experiences. It just means that we need to realize and remember how impermanent the nature of happiness and unhappiness, sensations, thoughts, images, experiences. It's all impermanent, it's all transitory, and just to deeply consider what our highest aspirations really are. Why are we really here? What are you really looking for, and what will really bring you peace? So as you're practicing today, just think about what is it that are you clinging to pleasant experiences and feelings and thoughts? Are you avoiding and pushing away unpleasant feelings, thoughts, sensations? Just start to notice that while you're practicing today. And we'll start on our backs. So keep your knees bent. You can rest your knees in toward each other and your feet out wide, your hands on your belly. And start to inhale into your belly, filling your belly up with air. Try not to move your rib cage too much. You're just moving the belly. Exhale, hug the belly button to the spine. You're breathing in the nose and out the nose, and in a slow, deep way. Just notice what your breath is like today. Is it pretty easy to take a breath? Is it harder to take an inhale, or is it harder to lengthen the exhale? Is it difficult to breathe into the belly and then hug the belly in? Do you notice the upper chest trying to do the breathing, or are you able to breathe with those lower lungs? Just notice that. And it takes practice to breathe into the lower lungs or fill the belly up and then let it contract down. And then you can windshield wiper your knees side to side. And take your heels up to the sky for waterfall. You straighten your legs as much as you can. You can point and flex your feet, circle the feet, And then planting your hands on the mat, you're going to pull the top of the sacrum toward the mat. So you're kind of curling the tailbone up and tilting the pelvis up. Keeping that activation in your core, feel your hip bones drawing toward each other as you lower the right leg down any amount. If your back starts to pop off the ground, then don't go so low with the leg. Come back up. And you'll inhale down, exhale up. Inhale, other leg, exhale up. Just moving with your breath at your pace. We're not counting these, we're just moving with the breath. And it's okay if you have your legs a little bent. Just try to keep the core activated. And give the knees a hug into the chest, rock side to side. And take the arms out wide like the letter T. And you're going to be pressing the shoulders into the mat. Don't let the shoulders pop up. Flex the feet. Take the shins parallel to the sky. So you have wide toes, wide or flexed feet, and your legs are pretty active. Your shoulders are pressing down, and you're hugging those hip bones toward each other. And you exhale, you'll take your knees over to that right bicep. They may touch, they may not. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees go toward the left bicep. If the shoulder's popping up, you've gone too far. And come back. Exhale, over to the side. You're using your breath and your core to pull the knees to the side and pull the knees back. If you'd rather exhale to bring them back, you can try that. That might work better for you. And come back to center. Once you're even on both sides, plant the feet about hip distance apart. Bring the hands down alongside the body. Push down with the heels and pull the heels toward the upper body as you lift your hips coming into bridge pose. Squeeze the back body, squeeze the glutes, and breathe. You can lift up the toes and balance on the heels for a little bit more challenge. You can lift one leg out into the air for more challenge and then switch to the other side, but don't let your hips drop. You can also just hang out in bridge pose. And you'll slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Walk the feet wide, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Keep trying to breathe with your belly. And give your knees a hug into your chest. Rock front to back. Holding onto your knees, just massage your back on the mat if it feels okay. If it doesn't feel okay, don't do it. And then you'll rise up to hands and knees, tabletop. From tabletop, we'll take some cat-cows. So drop your belly, lift your chin, pull the shoulders together on your back. Exhale, round the spine. Pull the shoulders apart. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And sway the hips side to side. Take hip circles. And make a C shape with your spine. Look to one hip. Turn to the other side. Look to the other hip. Wake up the spine in all directions. And come to a neutral spine where you have a gentle curve in your lower back. And then activate your lower belly by pulling your hip bones toward each other. So your lower belly, the front hip bones there, you're kind of drawing them together. Feel that lower belly activate. Keep it activated, and then take the right hand forward like you're shaking someone's hand. Kick the left heel back. So you want your hips to be pretty level with the ground here. You really don't want that left hip popping up on top of the right. So try to find that balance. You can tuck the right toes under or leave them untucked. Keep the lower belly hugged in as well. Then take awkward airplane, right arm to the side, left leg out to the side. Breathe. Come back to center. Bring the elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, reach out. Nice and slow. Elbow and knee to touch, exhale. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, in. Drop that hand and knee. One round of cat-cow. Then come back to a neutral spine. Reactivate your lower belly here, the transverse abdominals. Cinch your waist together and pull those hip bones toward each other. Then take that left hand forward. Kick the right heel back. Keep the belly nice and strong and active here. Hugging. And then take that awkward airplane that everybody loves. Breathe. Come back to center. Elbow and knee to touch. Exhale. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale out. Exhale in. One more. One round of cat-cow. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So bend your knees slightly, lift the hips up and back, traction the back away from the wrists. Tuck the chest. Breathe here, pedal the feet, wag your tail, whatever feels good. And then you're going to pivot both heels over to the right and that right hip over to the right, kind of hanging off, and breathe into that left side body. And we'll pivot back to center, pivot over to the left hip to the left, and breathe into the right side body. Then you'll come back to center. Come up onto the toes, lifting the heels, then send the heels back toward the mat. Do that 3 times. And come up onto the toes, roll forward into a plank. You can always drop to your knees if you need to here. And then tuck your chin to your chest, round the upper back, round the hips up so you're in a rounded plank. And then look forward. Feel the core activate, bend the elbows back and lower down to your belly. Inhale, come up, baby cobra. Pull the elbows back, lift the hands, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Squeeze the glutes. Then lower down one ear to the mat. Inhale back up. Float the hands. Exhale, lower down, other ear to the mat. Inhale, rise back up. See if you can clasp your hands behind your back and pull the knuckles toward your feet. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, squeezing the glutes, lift the chest. Breathe. And lower down. Release the hands. Plant the hands somewhat underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, push up to your knees or to your toes into a plank. Then down dog. Take 3 breaths here. Drop to your knees and your forearms for puppy. You can always take this posture anytime I say down. You need to give your wrists a little break, or you just want to take it a little easier today, you can come down into puppy. You can also try straightening your arms out and taking your chest or your forehead down to the mat or your chin. So, from puppy, you can rise up to your hands and knees, and take that right foot forward in between your hands. Here's where you might want your blocks. So you can frame that front foot with your blocks if that's better for you. Your hips are pressing forward and down, and your pelvis is slightly tilted forward to activate that glute. So breathe here. Low lunge. Let's take a neck stretch. Drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear to the left shoulder. And then bring the head back to center. Shift your hips back for half splits. Pull the blocks back, pull the right toes up, hinge at the hips, keep the spine straight as you fold over that right leg. If it doesn't bother your back, you can round the spine and tuck your chin. Plant that right foot, take the blocks back up, come back to tabletop. 1 round of cat-cow. And then you'll take that left foot forward, low lunge on the other side. Press the hips forward and down, check your alignment with your pelvis. Breathe. Take that neck stretch again, 1 ear to 1 shoulder. Or maybe take some head circles. And then shift the hips back for half splits. Pull up the left toes, fold or hinge over that left leg. You can round the spine and tuck the chin if that's better for you. Just come back to what I talked about earlier. During your practice, is there anything that you're shying away from? Are you kind of wishing or feeling resistance against certain poses that we're doing? You want to get out of them? Or are you feeling clinging to certain other ones, like you want to stay in them? Plant that left foot down, bring the blocks back up, step back to tabletop, take 1 round of cat-cow. And then we'll take that right foot in between the hands again. Use the blocks, taking another low lunge. You can stay here holding on to the blocks, or if you want to let your arms rise up to the sky, you can try that. And we'll bring the hands together, leaving the thumbs and the pointers out. And from there, we'll lean over to the right. Breathe. Come back to center. Cartwheel the hands down, and this time you can take your blocks with you to the inside of that right foot, or you can just keep your hands tented on the ground. You're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, and then turn your body to the side, coming into Skandasana. So your left leg will be straight and your right leg will be bent. It may look backwards on the video, but I have my left leg straight, right leg bent. You can pull those left toes up. You can even come up onto the right toes. And then we're just going to walk our hands over to the other side, straighten the right leg, bend the left. Just working into the inner thighs here. And just walk your hands back and forth. You can also do this with your blocks to give yourself some more height. Just taking your blocks with you as you go. Breathing as you're moving. Feeling out where you have any tension in the legs. Then once you come back to that right foot, that right knee bent, you'll walk your hands back to the front, drop that back knee, and step back into tabletop, one round of cat-cow. Then we'll take that on the other side. Left foot forward. Grab your blocks if you'd like. Take that low lunge. Or let your hands rise up. Take those water guns out. And then lift up and over to the left with your arms. Breathe into the psoas on the right. And you come back to center, cartwheel down. You can walk your blocks off over to the right, tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, and you're going to dial that right foot down, straightening the right leg, bend the left knee. So you can hold on to those blocks. You can walk them to the other side. You're just going back and forth in that Skandasana, side lunges. If you want to raise your body up and take a higher stance. Take your hands off of your legs and maybe to your hips or to your heart center and challenge your balance that way, you can. And then we're going to walk back to the front, step back to tabletop, and then one round of cat-cow. And tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, down dog. From down dog, lift the right leg to the sky, open and stack the hip, take the heel toward the glute. Now if that hurts your back, come back to that three-legged dog. You can bend the knee and just take the knee out to the side. You don't have to do that back tweaking thing. You're just trying to open the hips here. So then you'll square the hips to the mat, straighten the leg, bring the knee toward the nose, shift forward, set that foot through in between your hands or drop to the knee and place it there. You're going to rise up for high crescent lunge. In high crescent lunge, it's a lot like low crescent lunge. We still have our pelvis slightly tilted forward. Our feet can be hip width apart. And then arms up to the sky. Deep bend in the front knee, back leg is relatively straight, or working toward that. Clasp your hands together, palms to the sky, lean to the right. Breathe. Come back to center. We'll take eagle arms. Left arm on top of the right. Hug yourself or hug upward and grab your palms. Take a little baby step in with the back foot. Shift into the front foot and pick up the back coming into warrior three. So you want your hips squared to the mat, toes pointing down, lift your left leg with your glutes. If that's too much, you can drop down and just hold on to your blocks or the ground. From warrior three, release your hands to the ground or blocks, come into standing splits. This time point the toe, open and stack that left hip on top of the right, Bring the nose toward the knee. Try to get the foot up high. If you want to challenge your balance, try to hold on to that right ankle with your right hand and then maybe your left. Or maybe just lift your fingertips a second off the mat. Drop the back foot down, straighten both legs, pull the right hip back, left hip forward, fold forward for pyramid pose. You can use your blocks for this too. If you want to add reverse prayer hands here, you can take those reverse prayer hands behind your back, fingertips pointing up. And then you'll take your hands to the mat, step back into a plank, lower down, inhale up, exhale, down dog. We'll take that on the other side, and then we'll head over to some nice, relaxing stretches. So lift the the left leg to the sky, open and stack the hip, heel toward the glute, or just bend the knee and take the knee out to the side. And re-square the hips, straighten the leg, bring it knee to nose, shift forward, set that foot through in between your hands, widen the stance, your feet, rise up, high crescent lunge. Fix your posture, get your palms together, palms facing the sky, lean to the left. Come back to center, eagle arms, right arm on top of the left, hug yourself or hug upward and grab your palms. Take a baby step in with the back foot, lean forward, pick up that right leg. Use your glutes, keep that standing leg bent. And release, hands to the ground or blocks. Point the toe, open and stack the hip, lift the leg, bring the nose toward the knee. Maybe try to grab that ankle with one hand or both, challenging your balance. Or maybe just lift the fingertips a second. Drop the back foot down, straighten both legs, pull left hip back, right hip forward, pyramid pose. You can fold over that left leg, maybe take reverse prayer hands behind you. And then you'll come up, step back into a plank, lower down, inhale up, baby cobra, cobra or up dog, exhale, down dog. From here, we'll walk our hands back to our feet, coming into a yogi squat, toes out, heels in. You have blocks. If you want to sit on a block, you're welcome to do that. We'll just breathe here for about 5 breaths. Thread your chest through, maybe close your eyes. And as your hips open up, if you'd like to practice your crow, I know we've been doing that in class lately, or your baby crow, you're welcome to do that. If you forgot how, you can plant your hands in front. Fingertips are somewhat parallel to the sides of your mat. Widen your fingers, bend your elbows, and then lean your knees up onto your biceps as you look forward, and then you can pick up one foot and then the other. If you want to try baby crow, you can drop to your forearms and your knees. You take your forearms about parallel, your elbows are somewhat underneath your shoulders. Come up onto your toes and take your knees on the backs of your arms, still looking forward, lean forward, pick up your feet, and there you have it. To practice, you can pause the video if you want to keep practicing that. plant your hands, lift your hips, fold forward, shake it out. And then you'll walk your hands down the mat. Drop to your knees. One round of cat-cow. Then you'll come down to your bottom. And we'll take a gentle supine pigeon. Cross the left ankle over the right. Reach through your legs. Grab the back of the right thigh, pull it toward your chest. Flex that left foot. Push the left knee away. Come back to what's happening in the mind. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice the heat that you created in your body. You can maybe take a little gentle sway side to side. Notice the heart rate slowing down, the breathing starting to slow. You can stay right where you are, or if you'd like to straighten that right leg, maybe walk your hands up that right leg toward the right ankle, bringing the right foot a little bit more over your face. Or maybe you can roll up onto the shoulders. Just make sure not to turn your head side to side. Just keep looking straight ahead, straight up to the sky. And you can kind of take a snail pigeon. And then you can come back the way you came, and we'll switch to the other side. Cross the right foot over the left thigh, reach through your legs, grab the back of that left thigh, pull it toward your chest. Maybe wondering why I'm wearing stockings with pants in the summertime. Seems crazy, but I just had my veins worked on, so I have to wear these lovely hose. I get to wear these lovely hose in the summertime. I am grateful that they have the technology they have today to take care of that compared to what they used to have. One of those things. Am I feeling resistance to this? Yes. But it's impermanent. It won't last forever. I won't have to wear these forever. I won't be hot forever. Eventually it will get cool again. Eventually my legs will look normal. So as long as you can start to notice when you're trying to cling to pleasant experiences and you're resisting unpleasant experiences, that's practicing mindfulness when you can notice that. And when you start to realize that everything is impermanent, everything is always changing, it starts to create more peace in your mind. Because you won't feel suffering when the things that you want are gone. The pleasant things are gone. You won't feel suffering because you know they're going to be gone at some point. Straighten that left leg, walk your hands up that left ankle any amount, bringing the foot over the face any amount, or rolling up onto the shoulders. Carefully. You can come back down once you feel ready. Walk the feet mat distance apart, windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then give the knees a hug into your chest. And then roll over to your right side. Take the left arm behind you and look to the left. Supine twist. Relax the shoulders to the mat. They may or may not touch. Relax the abdomen. Keep trying to breathe into the belly. Take that right arm across the body over to the right. Hug your knees, roll over to the left side, and take the right arm behind you, look to the right. So also knowing that those unpleasant experiences, unpleasant sensations, unpleasant thoughts are also impermanent, always changing. It won't last forever. When we know that, it just creates a sense of ease, a sense of peace and calm. Bring that right arm back across the body over to the left. You can stay here on your side, take your Shavasana, or roll to your back or belly. I recommend taking pentacle, wide feet, wide arms overhead, just to fully reset your spine. Take 3 long, slow breaths. Imagine the breath coming down into the crown of the head, down the spine, to the bottom of the spine. On your exhale, it travels back up the spine and out the crown of your head. Bring awareness back to your breath. Bring movement back to your body. Stay here for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you can. But for the sake of time in this video, I'm going to end here. So I'll hug my knees and roll up. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time. Please hydrate and take care of yourself. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a beautiful day or night. Namaste.